told her to do something that she did not want to do, you were on her bad side. So she basically would make it her mission to show you.
Tonight, we're learning all new details on the woman living a double life, now facing suspicion in the disappearance of a Nassau County mother who you see right there, who is believed to be dead.
Now, in the week and a half since Joleen Cummings vanished, deputies still have not found her, but they have found her car. They found the woman seen driving it, and they found out that that woman, Kim Kessler, is not who she seems to be.
First Coast News reporter Nick Perot has more tonight, live from Nassau County. Nick.
Anthony Heather, good evening. Yes, Kimberly Kessler, using the name Jennifer Seibert, qualified for her hair certification to cut hair in 2014. And I spoke with fellow co-workers and instructors that say they only can describe her behavior when they worked alongside her as strange. Before making her way here to Tangle's hair salon, Kimberly Kessler, going by the alias Jennifer Seibert, trained at a Jacksonville Hair Academy.
She basically carried the notebook everywhere with her, and she would be writing down, like, word for word what was being said. Nothing that was for studious purposes. It was basically to have, like, documentation.
Her then instructor told me over the phone about his interaction with Kessler.
She was reserved, kept to herself, did not associate much with anybody.
Didn't associate or want to take part in learning any hairstyle techniques or experiment like most at beauty school.
She wouldn't let anyone touch her hair. When I told her that she needed to learn certain things, she told me that she was only there, even though it was a cosmetology school, that she was only there to learn how to barber.
Then there's what the instructor calls odd behavior.
She went inside the actual lower cabinet and closed herself in, and when people asked her, like, what are you doing, she said she wanted to see if she would be able to fit in there.
Constantly writing in a notebook, keeping her head down, and even hiding in cabinets, though, is not the strangest or oddest memory.
I remember one girl said that she asked if she could keep some of her sunburned skin that was peeling off.
Things got so bad, her instructor stopped working with her, and says curious coworkers even tried to look up her background back in 2014, but couldn't find much online then either.
It was always this interesting thing where we didn't really know much about her, and she was always kept to herself, and her mission was to get through school.
In Nassau County, Nick Perot, First Coast News on your side.